In the twilight of aging kings and potentates, the focus is always on their successors. Can they measure up to a father's brilliance or to his ruthlessness?
Could we please remove the people holding up witnesses?
Today is a trial not only of the great man, but his anointed successor, the Americanized James.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. And first of all, I would like to say as well just how sorry I am and how sorry we are to particularly the victims of illegal voicemail interceptions and to their families. As for my comments, Mr. Chairman, and my statement, which I believe was around the closure of the News of the World newspaper.
Before you get to that, I would just like to say one sentence. This is the most humble day of my life.
Okay, thank you.
The parliamentary hearing was very clear what was going on there. This was being run by lawyers, by litigators, and they were told, you know, this is not about clearing your name. This is not about making people feel better about you. This is not about arguing your case. This is about keeping you out of jail.
Clive Goodman was pleading guilty to phone hacking, a criminal offence. Did News International pay Clive Goodman's legal fees for his trial?
I was not, I do want to be clear about the chronology, first of all. I do not have first-hand knowledge of those times.
Who at News International agreed to make those? Who signed the cheques? Who agreed to make those payments?
I do not know who signed off those.
I mean,
Well, they just said they didn't know. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. What we're saying here is they didn't know.
The tactic of avoiding questions, denying knowledge of criminal acts, and distancing management from the decisions that led to criminality had worked for a very long time. For more than 4 years, the Murdochs and their executives claimed that a rogue reporter, Clive Goodman, and a rogue private detective, Glenn Mulcair, were responsible for the entire scandal.
If a rogue reporter decides to behave in that fashion, I'm not sure that there's an awful lot more I could have done.
The single rogue reporter defence was one big, fat corporate lie, and we need to find the executives who prosecuted that argument.
They may well have continued to get away with it were it not for this man, Guardian journalist Nick Davies. Davies revealed in July this year that as well as celebrities and politicians, the News of the World had hacked into the phone of a murdered schoolgirl, Millie Dowler, in the frantic days after the teenager went missing.
Millie, darling, if you are watching or listening to this, Mum, Dad, Gemma, Granny, and all the family want you to know that we all love you and we really miss you, and we can't wait to have you back home with us.
I sent an email to the editor saying, I think this is the most powerful hacking story so far. But neither he nor I foresaw the scale of that impact. And it produced this kind of emotional tidal wave in the country that just knocked everybody over. And when they stood up again, nobody was willing to be on the News of the World side, but nobody.
Now, murder victims, terrorist victims who've had their phones hacked is quite disgraceful. That is why
the big corporations who were advertising in the News of the World started pulling out their advertising. MPs, I mean, in flocks, crossed the floor, so to speak, of the House of Commons, deserting the previous alliance to the Murdoch organisation and standing up and denouncing it.
Many, many wholly innocent men, women and children who at the darkest hour found their private innermost feelings and their private tears bought and sold by News International for commercial gain.